What's going on, everyone? This is Kevin here, coming at you with my review of the Amazon Fire 7 2022. So without further ado, let's get started. So this tablet has indeed been updated for 2022. However, it's really more of an evolution from the previous generation rather than a major redesign. Now overall, I do think that's a really good thing because this general design and form factor has worked really well over the last year, or decade for that matter. It is pretty amazing to think that it's been more than 10 years since the original Fire tablet was launched, but Amazon has definitely created a lane for themselves with this line of tablets, as they really have taken over the lower end of the tablet market. Now the Fire 7 is the entry-level model for the various Fire tablets, and if you are looking for additional features or a more powerful processor, then you might want to look into some of their other options, such as the Fire HD8 and Fire HD10. But the Fire 7 2022 is offered in a variety of different configurations. For example, you can get this device in two different storage configurations in either 16 or 32 gigabytes of storage, and this tablet is offered with or without special offers. So essentially, you can save some money on this tablet if you opt for the special offers. And what that means is that when you go to the lock screen on the tablet, you will see an ad right here. Now, interestingly, right now it's not showing anything, so I'm not sure why, but typically you will see an ad on the lock screen. Now the good news is that if you end up going for the version of the tablet with those special offers, and later on you decide that you don't want them, you can pay $15 extra to get rid of those. So basically, as far as I'm concerned, you should definitely go for the version of the tablet with the special offers, because there's really no risk. Now before I show you a variety of different things about the tablet, let's take a closer look and see what all comes included here in the box. So here is the box for the Fire 7. There's the tablet right there. This is the 16 gigabyte model. Then on the back of the box, we have some various highlights about the tablet, but we'll be going over all of this throughout this video. Then inside of the box, we have a quick start guide here. We have a USB-C cable for charging and data transfer, and we have a USB wall adapter. Now, hence the name of this tablet, with it being the Fire 7, it does feature a 7-inch display. Now, this display is an LCD display. It features a resolution of 1024 by 600, and we're getting a PPI of 170. Now, overall, I wouldn't say it's necessarily the best looking display that I've ever seen on a tablet, but since this is a very budget-focused tablet, I think the display is totally fine. Thankfully, the colors are pretty good here, and things do look decently crisp and clear, at least good enough that you could read an ebook on here, or watch a movie, or just browse the internet, or go on social media. All of that is going to be fine, but if you do want a Fire tablet with a better display, like I mentioned earlier in the video, they do have some other options that are a bit more premium than this one. Now I feel like the bezel sizes on this tablet are pretty much perfect because you can hold onto the tablet without covering up any of the display with your fingers. So overall, I think it has a really good design. We do have a front-facing camera, which is 2 megapixels, and we also have another 2 megapixel camera on the back of the device, and I'll show you some samples from those cameras in a little bit. Now, as I mentioned earlier, this tablet is offered in either 16 or 32 gigabytes, and in addition to that, this tablet does support microSD card expansion. So if you do want to add a microSD card to offload some photos and videos, for example, then that's certainly not a bad idea, considering that we don't really get much internal storage with this tablet as it is. Now, unfortunately, there is no wireless charging to be found with the Fire 7. However, we do have wireless charging with the Fire HD8 Plus. Now, while I definitely don't expect to have wireless charging with the tablet in this particular budget segment, I will say though that when I tested the Fire HD8 Plus several years ago when it was launched, the wireless charging feature was very convenient, because it is nice that if you're using your tablet and you want to just throw it on a wireless charger, it's immediately charging, and then anytime you want to pull it off of that charger, it's more likely than not going to have a 100% charge. So I just find that to be a bit more streamlined when using a tablet compared to having to always plug in the charging cable. So anyway, that's something worth considering, but again, the fact that there is no wireless charging with this tablet is completely fine, and it is expected. Now, this tablet does not feature a fingerprint sensor or face unlock, so if you do want to get into it, you do have to put in your PIN code. So that's not necessarily a huge deal for a tablet, because unlike your phone, which you're constantly going to be putting in your pocket and taking out of your pocket and accessing, you're most likely going to access this tablet and then start watching a video or doing something where you're going to be on it for a long period of time. But I will say, if a successor to this tablet had a fingerprint sensor, that would be pretty nice. Now here's how things look on the camera app on the device. This is with the rear camera right now. Then from here, we can switch around to the front-facing camera, and there's me right there. So we really don't get too many different features related to the cameras on this device. And as you probably noticed already, and hence the fact that these cameras are 2 megapixels, you definitely shouldn't expect too much when it comes to the camera quality, but at the same time, it is better than nothing. Now, I didn't take too many camera samples with this device, simply because I don't think there's much of a point to it. I think you get the idea. The camera has pretty much accomplished the bare minimum, so if you want to do a video call, it works well enough with the quality, but certainly nowhere near what you'd get with the quality of a front-facing camera from a mid-range or higher-end smartphone. Now, I did take this selfie with studio lighting going on, so definitely that helps with giving us better results. But even then, at the same time, the quality is not that great. It really could be a lot better, but again, for a budget tablet like this one, I'm at least glad that we have cameras here. And you might be curious how well the rear camera does when it comes to document scanning, and overall, I don't think it's really good enough to capture documents. So here's an example right here. I took a picture of this instruction booklet for another product that I'm in the process of reviewing, and the photos really are not clear enough to accurately capture the text in this document. So again, if you are thinking of buying this tablet for scanning documents, then just know that it's not going to work out very well. Now with this tablet, we have 2 gigabytes of RAM paired up with the MediaTek MT8168A processor. Now overall, that configuration is not very high performing. So this tablet is pretty much only good for web browsing, watching video content, reading articles, ebooks, really any sort of content consumption. But if you want to use this tablet to create content, like doing video editing, or maybe you want to do high performance gaming on this tablet, it's really not a great choice for that purpose. But again, if you just want a simple tablet that you can use to watch videos here and there, maybe you don't want to spend too much because you know you'll only be using this tablet when you're going on vacation or on a plane ride or a car trip, then that's really where this makes the most sense. I think there's a lot of people out there that are not looking to spend $500, $600 on an iPad and instead just want a really simple tablet to do kind of the bare minimum purposes. And if you're one of those people, I think this tablet can get the job done. But again, if you're looking to do anything involving any sort of processing at all, the processor on here is relatively weak. Now, I did run a benchmark test using Geekbench 5, and I'll show you the scores from that test right now. But essentially, I got a single core score of 157 and a multi-core score of 487. So if you currently have a Fire tablet, and maybe you're thinking of upgrading to this one, then I do recommend running this test to see how your scores compare to these scores. But again, overall, if you want to use this tablet for content consumption, it will work fine for that. But if you want to do anything too advanced, it probably isn't really that great of a choice. Now, I don't know the exact battery capacity of this tablet, but Amazon does advertise it as having up to 11 hours of battery life. And from my experience of using the tablet, that does seem to be the case. So if you want to use this tablet on a long plane ride, assuming that it's under 11 hours, that'll be fine. You won't have to recharge it or anything like that. So in general, I feel like the battery life is pretty good here. Now the software that we're getting is Amazon's Fire OS 8. Now this is built on top of Android 11. However, the whole experience here is very different from any stock Android tablet that I've used in the past. So in addition to that, we don't have any of the Google services here. It does feature Amazon's App Store and a bunch of other Amazon pre-installed apps. So in general, you probably can find a lot of the apps that you are looking for because the Amazon App Store has grown quite a bit over the last decade or so. But at the same time, this tablet is ideal for somebody that is already far into the Amazon ecosystem. So if you're a Prime member, for example, and you like to use Audible, Amazon Music, Amazon Photos, and shopping on Amazon for that matter, and some other services, this tablet will be a great fit for you. And fortunately, if you're curious on whether or not your favorite apps are available in the Amazon App Store, you can go onto Amazon's website at any time and search throughout that app store. So I would definitely recommend taking a look, especially if you've never owned a Fire tablet before, just to get a better idea of what apps are even available. But now that we've gone over a variety of different features and specifications for this tablet, let's take a closer look at the hardware. So as I mentioned, the hardware itself really hasn't advanced that much over the years, but that's really a good thing. There's no point in changing something that's already working very well, and most people just want a very simple tablet like this one so that they can watch various movies and look at photos and go on social media. So for what it is, the form factor and design is really good. Another nice thing too is that this tablet does feel of decent quality, despite it being very budget. Now, it's certainly not a bad idea to pair this up with some sort of case though to make it extra durable, but I definitely think it will hold up at least for several years. And I know for the other Fire tablets that I've used in the past, that has been the case. But taking a look at the left side of the tablet, we just have the speaker. Then on the right side, we have the slot for the micro SD card. Then up top here, we have a 3.5mm headphone jack, USB-C port for charging and data transfer. We have the microphone, volume buttons, and the power button. Now the USB-C port is really the biggest, most notable new feature to this tablet. Up until now, the Fire 7 line of tablets has always had micro USB. So it's great to see that this tablet has made that switch, as USB-C is already very popular and pretty much the standard for various Android tablets, but at the same time, better late than never. So I'm definitely glad that we have this. Also, in addition to USB-C being better in pretty much every way compared to micro USB, USB-C is also a lot more durable, so it's going to be more likely that you'll be able to get more longevity out of this tablet compared to one that has micro USB. And then on the other side of the tablet, we have nothing. So in conclusion, I definitely think the Amazon Fire 7 2022 is a worthwhile tablet to consider. And especially if you're not looking to spend too much, maybe you're someone that's a very occasional user of a tablet, then I could definitely see this being a good option to go for. I know for me at least, I do intend on using this tablet mostly for ebooks in the future, and I definitely don't intend on using it on a daily basis. This might be a device that I use once a week or every other week, and I think that definitely still makes it worth it considering that it is a budget option. But I hope you enjoyed this review and found it to be helpful. Again, this is the Amazon Fire 7 2022. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.